Can you imagine why anyone would want to add anything artificial to something that just comes naturally from ingredients like grain, water, barley, hops? Neither can Coors.
North Carolina in the lead in the ball game now, 14-7, 4:58 to go until halftime, and they have replaced Kenan Watson with Kenny Miller, who will kick off now. We mentioned last time that they had problems with Kenan Watson getting the ball deep enough. There's the scoring drive. Didn't take long after the fumble recovery by Howard Bagans, and Eric Stark capitalized. Troy Russell back deep to receive it. Russell starts from his 13. Right up the middle. Out across the 25 to about the 27, 28-yard line. Tackle made by Michael Benefield, a tailback, and a highly recruited one out of Wilmington, Delaware. Delaware State Player of the Year last year, in fact.
But how things can quickly change in less than 2 minutes. NC State goes from a 7-0 lead in the ball at midfield to trailing in the ball game 14-7.
First down from the 29. Eric Kramer now for the first time asked to bring his Wolfpack back. Tries to take out on the option. Reuben Davis is right there. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Poland Most Valuable Player from each team. In addition to recognizing our 2 MVPs, Poland will donate a $500 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both North Carolina State and North Carolina as part of the Poland Most Valuable Player Award Scholarship Program. Gary Schwarber with Jack Corrigan. We're at Kenan Stadium, 14-7 North Carolina. Second down and 9 from the 30-yard line of North Carolina State. Eric Kramer to throw. Section good. Bobby Crumpler was to receive the ball, but Brett Rudolph said, let's see if you can hang on after this pop.
This time they decide to go to the running back underneath the linebacker coverage. But Brett Rudolph, the junior from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, says, how do you do? And Bobby Crumpler loses the football. Third and long yardage. State really wants to get a first down here. They've got to change the momentum.
Kramer 4 of 8 for 68 yards. They complete the pass on the sideline up to the 43. Haywood Jeffries, I believe. And Derek Donald covers up for North Carolina. And Jeffries gets a first down out to the 43. Big play for State.
North Carolina decides to just rush 4 men, and the NC State offensive line gives Kramer enough time. Jeffries runs the curl route right between 3 defenders. Right among, I guess, 3 defenders. Between is only 2. I don't want the grammarians
He caught the ball.
He caught the ball, that's right.
Or he received it. First down on the 43. There's Mark May. Loosening up that shoulder just a bit. Right up the middle. Mal Strite, the fullback, has not carried the ball much today. Brett Rudolph brought him down right at midfield.
To go back to that scene you just saw a moment ago of Mark May, he banged that shoulder pretty good on that play in which he was forced to scramble, and perhaps it's a little tender. Boy, George is starting to pull away from the Commodores right now. Clemson leading 7-0. Homecoming at Death Valley against the Blue Devils.
We'll see Duke for the first time next week against Maryland on our ACC Game of the Week. Bobby Crumpler trying to get to the stick, and he's not going to do it.
Also have a flag on the play on the far side.
Brett Rudolph and Noel McCahern combining on the stop. We'll see the call. Offside. It's North Carolina, so that will be a State first down. That won't make Dick Crum's day. In case you just joined us, North Carolina State led 7-0. We were tied, and a big punt return. Here comes the call.
Defense, offside, first down. Offside again.
Big punt return gave North Carolina the lead they now enjoy by 7. North Carolina State, though, in Carolina territory at the 44. First and 10. Overshoots Naz Worthen. Worthen was open. There were some Carolina defenders in the area, but Worthen certainly had enough space to make the catch with the ball overthrown and away from him.
Well, I think Kramer expected Worthen to be running a curl pattern. Worthen was running more of what they call a dig pattern, in which he works his way inside among the defenders, and that's why the ball was thrown behind Naz.
Mac Jones has replaced Naz Worthen in the North Carolina State lineup. That is Jeffries, though you see at the top of the screen. Jones split to the bottom off the screen. Kramer on the option, gets it to Trump. good yardage. Be about a yard shy of the first down. Bring up 3rd and 1 with the linebacker Brett Rudolph making the tackle. We are under 3 minutes to go in the first half now.
The other adjustment North Carolina State has made here with their running game, in addition to the deception plays, the counter plays, they are running that option away from formation. That is, they're running it away from their tight end, trying to go to the short side of the field. They've been pretty successful with it.
Now Bright and Bobby Crumpler, the back. 3rd down and 1 from the 35 of North Carolina. Crumpler is stopped and pulled back by Ruben Davis. Davis just got a hold and used that great strength. Really nothing more than strength and leverage to pull him back.
Well, he was all ACC last year. Not much change, except perhaps a little bit better this year for number 93. Stepped around 2 blocks, and then on his knees had the strength to pull Crumpler back. State's going to go for it on 4th down. No surprise here, really.
At the 35 of North Carolina. 4th down, a little bit more than 1. This is not inches here. The draft is almost 2 yards. Crumpler made a nice little move to get to the first down. 1st down, North Carolina State, where they mark it. Walter Bailey, the ram back, will get credit for the tackle, but good running there by Crumpler for the first down.
Indeed, a fine effort by Bobby Crumpler. There's good penetration by Ruben Davis, but he stepped around Davis and then had enough strength to step out of the grasp of Walter Bailey and come up with a first down.
A minute and a half to go in the first half, and the clock winding with Kramer looking to throw. Overshoots Mal Price, the fullback coming out of the backfield. Howard Fagans was there in case any damage was done, but the pass was overthrown.
They would be kicking into the wind, Gary. It's another reason why they went for it on 4th down and did not try the long field goal with Mike Cofer. The breeze is not real strong, but there's enough of a breeze in the face of North Carolina State that they want to get closer before they would think about a field goal. They want 7 to stop the ball game.
1:25 to go on the half now, and Kramer's going to call timeout. How many times this year have we seen Kramer have a fair to good first half and then come on and have a great second half?
Well, as Eric Kramer goes, so go the Wolfpack. And that has really been the situation. He has had tough first period. NC State has never scored in the first quarter this year. And this is their
Let's take a look at what we have
ball game. Yeah.
What we have coming up at halftime. Our ACC champions feature. Another Delta one for the books. One of the great moments from the past in the ACC, and a look around the nation on the Jefferson Pilot scoreboard.
With 2 timeouts remaining at 1:25 on the clock, North Carolina State won't necessarily discard their running game the rest of the way, but they've really got to think more now about throwing the football. So you've got to look for Jeffries and Worthen to be involved, and perhaps they would like to go back to Ralph Britt again in that tight end pass over the middle.
Kramer is 5 for 11 for 81 yards.
Well, right now they have Todd Fisher in the ball game, lined up as a wingback, so you've got the 2 tight ends on the same side. Britt, the starting tight end, and Fisher, the backup, as a wingback to the right side.
We've also got Naz Worthen and Bobby Crumpler in a position where they could well be receivers. Sally is left down the backfield. The pitches to Sally. Just didn't have any help. Ron Burton and Howard Fagans on the tackle.
They were hoping that the Tar Heels would overload to the wing side. They did not. The sweep to the wide side went no place.
North Carolina State moving quickly now with just a minute to go in the first half. At the 3rd down and 11 for Kramer to throw. Worthen outside the 20 and about the 21 is where he'll get forward progress. Crowd didn't like some of what went on afterwards. The North Carolina State fans across the way. Derek Donald, the cornerback, on the tackle, but that forward progress should be a first down.
Excellent protection again for Eric Kramer. Worthen with the deep curl route. Kramer delivers it right on the money.
Quickly up to the line, North Carolina State trying to get even at halftime. Kramer again with protection. This is Steve Sally at the 10, and out of bounds to stop the clock at the 8-yard line. Howard Fagans wrote him out, but State got what they wanted there. Another first down, and they stopped the clock with 41 seconds to play.
You've got to love the offensive mind of Dick Sheridan. Several plays ago, they've got Mal Pright out in the flat, and Kramer overshoots him, but obviously the fullback was open. Gets the first down of the 20, comes right back to the play, and Sally gets 12 for another Wolfpack first down.
It's 14-7 North Carolina. North Carolina State, though, at the 9-yard line, looking at 9 up the corner, threw it away as he was about to be brought down. A flag is down. Naz Worthen was over there, the intended receiver.
They're going to call a penalty on North Carolina. I think Derek Donald.
Here's the call. Pass interference. Yep, against the Tar Heels. Nick Crum wants to hold up his hands and say what was that, but if he holds up his hands, I don't know what happened.
That interference was in the end zone. Let's get the call from the officials.
Defensive pass interference in the end zone. Automatic first down on the 2.
That pretty well explains it. First and goal for North Carolina State. 2 yards away from tying the game. 35 seconds to go before the half.
North Carolina is going to take a timeout. It's a good idea to try and settle things down. Denny Marston, the defensive coordinator, wanted to settle it down. Let's look at the interference call. Derek Donald guarding Naz Worthen. Worthen running the corner route, trying to lean into Donald and now break to the sideline. He's open. And I don't know what they call.
Boy.
I should say so, and that's why Denny is upset. See the fine defensive coordinator of
Sometimes you say,
North
well, maybe it was
Carolina.
something before or after we saw it. But it looked like we saw the whole play.
We saw the whole play, and I think the complaint most of all for North Carolina was that Kramer was basically throwing the ball away.
Yeah. And I'm sure that's some of what Dick Crum is saying there. Dick Sheridan more concerned with how he can pick up the 2 yards he needs to tie this game up at halftime.
Well, the thing that surprised me most of all, Gary, was that the flag came very late. And that's why it was hard to see why the flag. Now let's see if we can find out what happened. Well,
boy. Naz Worthen says, hey, good call.
Derek Donald can't believe it. And in Derek's defense, it was hard to see what took place, but the official on that side had no hesitation about throwing the flag. So apparently he saw in that early contact enough to warrant the call.
Right. I was just saying, his defense, he may have just thrown the flag later than he wanted to. First down and goal, though, from the 2. Kramer with a pitch to Crumpler. Crumpler trying to tie the game. Gets in. Touchdown, North Carolina State. Today here at Kenan Stadium, but they erupt on the far side. It's 14-13.
A little wrinkle this week by Dick Sheridan. He takes Todd Fisher as tight end and makes him a wingback. It gives him an extra blocker on the corner. And he went behind Mr. Fisher and scored the touchdown.
Second touchdown of the game for Bobby Crumpler. Mike Coper will look to have the extra point now. Brian Gay to hold. Puts it through. We are tied at 14 with 32 seconds left, and we couldn't want a whole lot more than what we have right now.
We got ourselves a football game here, partner. Steve Sally, the lead blocker. Fisher on the corner did a good job on Ron Burton, and then Sally got the block on Derek Donald, and that finished it off. Watch Todd Fisher right here. Steal off Ron Burton. Then Sally meets Donald Keith Baldwin, at the goal line, and that puts it into the end zone.
Bobby Crumpler, who we told you earlier, has the better power of the two tailbacks. You combine he and Frank Harris, you got yourself an all-ACC player, and they combine them rather well, use them very effectively in tandem. So North Carolina has 32 seconds left to work with, and considering the usual conservatism of the Carolina offense, well, I guess field position after the kick will have something to do with what they decide.
Got to figure we had no points in the first quarter. We've had 28 of them scored here in the second period.
Well, interesting point. North Carolina has led every game at halftime this season. State has trailed every game at halftime. They're both going to lose that now, because we're going to look at, unless there's something surprising, in a 14-14 tie.
Well, with Eric Starr back deep for North Carolina, you've got a potential
He'd like to do something about
game breaker.
Hofer, however, kicks it to the far side and out of bounds, so he will have to try it again from back at the 30. And we'll look at the scoring drive. 12 plays, 71 yards, culminating in the 2-yard run by Crumpler.
A real key here in the first half has been the great protection after the first series afforded to Eric Kramer by his offensive line. North Carolina generally has not blitzed that much. They like to just rush with their up front 4. But they had to blitz a lot against Florida State, and I got to believe we're going to see Walter Bailey and the rest of those linebackers blitzing a little more in the second half to try and put more pressure on Kramer.
Cofer with a low kick, goes through the legs of one Tar Heel, and finally comes to Eric Starr at the 13. Starr now, as a flag goes down, so I suspect whatever he does, Tar Heel's going to move back, and finally he is driven out of bounds by North Carolina State's Sterling Clark. Some pleasantries exchanged perhaps on the sideline, and they will move it back 10 or 15 yards. 15, I would suspect. We are down to 22 seconds to go in the first half. Yep, flipping. Well, I don't think Carolina will be looking to do anything with the football now. As you look at Dick Crum.
Carolina will have State get the second half kickoff, but I still don't think it's going to affect their thinking at all, particularly now down inside their 15-yard line. They're just going to run one play, and that'll do it.
Clifton against the return team. The foul occurred on the 12 and the high, on the 25, highest distance, 7 high.
He got it out. 14-14, 22 seconds to go in the first half. He talked about the protection awarded Kramer. Last year, 5 sacks, and really that isn't indicative of how badly he was chased around that pocket in last year's meeting. James Thompson will run out the clock. I would suspect 15 seconds and rolling. I doubt the Tar Heels will have any desire to get off another play. Chris Johnson, the junior, made the stop for North Carolina State. So we've seen some big plays. We've seen both teams move the ball. And we've seen as Dick Sheridan leads his team off the field, the North Carolina State team that may be banged up, but they are right in the ball game, all even with the Tar Heels at halftime. North Carolina 14, North Carolina State 14. They have played it even so far before 50,000 here at Kenan Stadium. We'll be back after this. Up there's Troy Russell in the middle to return for North Carolina State. 14-14 as we start the second half. And Russell will start from his 6. Trying to get to the outside, but not going to get there. Up to about the 23-24-yard line, and that is where they will start. And the flag is down again. And how many times have we seen it today already? A team receiving the kickoff is set back by that yellow hanky.
That one was away from the play as well.
Victor Bullock was the man who made the tackle, but it was a clip that will set State back. This is nothing new for them. They were battling this kind of field position the entire first half.
They rarely had good field position, but have not really been hampered that much about starting deep in their own territory, but this will set them down around the 12-13-yard line.
Clipping on the run back, high distance to the goal, first down.
And because of the field position, Gary, as you look at Eric Kramer, the fine quarterback for North Carolina State, in part because of that poor field position, North Carolina State has run the ball on first down 13 of their first 15 first down plays.
And most impressively, they've been able to gain yardage when North Carolina knows they're going to run, but not here. Kramer will throw, shoots it out to Frank Harris across the 20 to the 22-23-yard line, where Mitch White, the linebacker, brings him down. Walter Bailey made the first hit right around the first down marker.
This is a great moldable offense that Dick Sheridan has brought to NC State. Out of the backfield, little flare route by Frank Harris, who was very fine in the open field. He got himself close enough that they're going to bring the chains just about the width of the field over to take a measurement.
You talked about how many times they had run the football on first down. Dick Sheridan there electing to cross him up with the pass and getting good yardage.
Well, I know from my experience of coaching, Gary, that, you go in at halftime and you chart every play, and I'm sure the Carolina coaches look and say, well, golly, they're running the ball on first down. We got to expect them to run on first down because that's what they did in the first half. And Dick Sheridan and his people said, hey, we've got to start mixing it up a little more. We've been running the ball too much on first down.
And there you see the graphic. North Carolina also has rushed the ball much more than they passed, and not as much as the Wolfpack, and as Jack told you, field position, part of the reason for that. Just shy, well, no, they got the first down. First down and 10 at the 23. Kramer running the option, will turn it upfield and get some yardage. He lost the football, and North Carolina has gotten it. Brett Rudolph, the linebacker.
Tackle by Brett Rudolph. Third fumble fumble of the ball game for North Carolina State. That's been a real problem for them the last 2 weeks. Brett Rudolph, the junior linebacker, who was one of their key men on the inside. For the first time, Kramer had some room on the counter option to keep the ball himself, but he didn't tuck the ball away. It was stripped away from him by Carlton Bailey, I believe. Mark May with a turnover.
Mark May back to throw, and the pass is deflected and incomplete. Pat Teague was the man who got a hand on it.
32, Eric Lewis,
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for North Carolina from the 27 of the Wolfpack.
The one thing you really worry about when you run the option, Gary, with your quarterback, and he decides to keep it and run it himself, is he's got to constantly remind himself to put the ball away. Don't leave it out there, and that's what happened to Kramer. 2nd down and 10, James Thompson and Eric Starr, the backs. Center not starting the second half. Starr gets the carry, and Starr, the first hit was Fred Stone, and he got about a yard or two. Pat Teague and Greg Harris, the other linebackers, also there. It'll be 3rd and long. I would be surprised if we see Derek Fenner the rest of the afternoon. Dick Crum told us yesterday that if he felt that Fenner was not running as strongly as he wanted him to, he was not going to risk further aggravating the injury. He'd take him out because he had a lot of confidence in Eric Starr.
3rd down and 8 from the 25 of the Wolfpack. We're tied at 14 after play action. May has got his fullback Thompson, and Thompson gets the first down to the 14-yard line. Fred Stone brought him down. Greg Harris is shaken up. Brady Harris, it is, shaken up in the North Carolina backfield, and they'll have to attend to him.
Good pass protection. Harris Barton, Ralph Pfeiffer, Garnica the center, giving all kinds of protection on the left side. Don't forget Crowley and Incremenius on the right side. Thompson delayed and slipped underneath the coverage, catches the ball, and pulls his way ahead for the first down. Boy, the Wolfpack can ill afford another injury on their defensive front. John Adlita, one of their starters, is out. Brian Bullock, another one of their starting linemen, is out. Scott Wilson, their starting outside linebacker, is also shaken up. And now Grady Harris is the guy being attended to.
Harris was playing in place of Brian Bullock. He started last week as well against Georgia Tech. Kent Winstead is the man who would likely come in and take his place. But as Jack mentioned, the Wolfpack can ill afford any more defensive injuries, and this one doesn't look too serious. So North Carolina has a first down on the 15 of North Carolina State. Tied at 14 we are, just underway in the second half, 13:38 to play, third period.
There's Grady Harris, the junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. It's been surprising, Gary, that we talked about could the state defense hold them. They've really been put into jeopardy by their offensive turnovers.
As they are right now on the 15-yard line, they're asked to defend against North Carolina. This is Starr right into the line. He doesn't get a whole lot. Sandy Key, the nose guard, holding his position, and as a result, only a couple. We'll take a look at Notre Dame now, leading at halftime over Air Force, 17-3. Every time the Irish play, it's a big game. It's on TV somewhere. They have alumni all around the country. 2nd down, 8. Mark May has gone all the way at quarterback. Eric Lewis, you saw in motion. And Starr fumbles the football, and it is covered by North Carolina State's Ray Agnew. Freshman out of Winston-Salem, and so turnabout fair play. North Carolina State coughs it up. North Carolina returns the favor.
Well, when you get an emotional rivalry with the intensity that you have with North Carolina and North Carolina State, you almost expect turnovers to happen. This one was a surprising one. It was just a simple handoff, and Eric Starr never got a handle on the ball from Mark May. And Ray Agnew came up with a fumble recovery, the freshman from Winston-Salem.
First down just outside the 15, and the fullback Mal Price got nothing.
Boy, Mitch White just stepped in the hole and smothered that play.
So North Carolina State again, and we're harping on it, but it's certainly been part of the story, again starting backed up in its own territory. This time, though, they're happy to do so because they got the turnover.
We want to key, if you're watching at home with us, you want to do it as well. Key on the linebackers, White and Rudolph and Walter Bailey. Those three are going to be crucial for Carolina's defensive work here in the second half.
2nd down, 9 from State. Kramer on the pitch to Crumpler. Crumpler is grabbed from behind by Ron Burton. He got away from him, but he didn't get away from Mitch White, who dragged him down at the 21. So North Carolina State comes up on a ball possession down. Best way to stop the North Carolina offense, keep the football. That's what State will try to do here on third, and they'll need to get to about the 25, third and 4.
State's had fair success converting third down situations this afternoon.
Now Cricht is the only setback. Kramer goes to Crumpler, who dropped the football. He would have had the first down out at the 26-yard line. It was Walter Bailey doing the defending, but Crumpler, if he could have gotten that football, had a first down.
Bobby Crumpler took a peek here to see where Walter Bailey was before he caught the football, and just enough of that caused him to drop what would have been a first down play for the Wolfpack. Kelly Holodick will have to punt it out of trouble.
Holodick will hit it from about his 10. Eric Lewis standing at the North Carolina 40. Not a lot of hang time on this one. Lewis starts from his 38. And Lewis comes out of the pack, reverses his field. Now he's got a blocker. And Lewis into North Carolina State territory at the 46. A flag is down. Torrance Casey on the stop. Walter Bailey threw a block for him. And Eric Lewis, after a 41-yard punt, got a good chunk of it back and gets into State territory. Got a 13-yard, maybe 15-yard return.
An illegal block, blocking below the waist on a punt and kickoff return. Not only can you not clip, that you never can do, but on a punt and kick, you cannot block the front of a defender below the waist. And that's what happened to North Carolina.
So North Carolina's backed up a little bit, but they'll still have pretty good field position.
Blocking below the waist on the return. First down 10.
We are still tied at 14. North Carolina will have the football when we come back after these words.
This probably looks like an ordinary office to you, but it isn't. We're Interstate Security, and we bring Wall Street with all its knowledge, experience, and resources to your street with all its charm, warmth, and security. And it's all as easy as doing business with your neighbor. Interstate Security. We bring Wall Street to your street.
To make chili as good as my ma's, you need Italian tomatoes, Mexican beans, and my ma in the kitchen. How's it going, Ma? How's your kitchen? She's great. Knows just how hot I like it, and it's all cold when I like with it. Natural Light, the beer with a taste for food. Ah, this is the life.
Yeah, all natural, less filling. It's Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch.
Coaster under the beer.
A Wachovia personal banker. One person who makes the decisions, gets you the money. One person with the knowledge, information, options, answers. One person who puts the people, resources, and services of the bank to work for you. And makes your banking simpler, easier, faster. A Wachovia personal banker. The one who gets it done.
Still early in the third period. As you see, we are tied at 14. The Wolfpack and the Tar Heels. Carolina football on their own 37-yard line. Mark May has gone all the way at quarterback. Looking to throw here. Randy Marriott at the 45. Driven out by Derek Taylor. He'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down.
Dick Crum realizes he has to accelerate the pace a little bit for his offense. They have not been as effective controlling the clock, so it's more of a situation now, hey, we just got to put points on the board, not worry about running the clock down.
Second down and 2. It's still Eric Starr, the tailback, behind James Thompson, who made his first collegiate start today, and again, May back. Going deep for Streeter, and it's out of bounds. Streeter caught the football, but well out of bounds. Derek Taylor had him well covered.
Like I said, the Carolina philosophy perhaps here in the second half now is going to be that, hey, we've got to start spreading it out a little bit, do a few more things. They had a second and short yardage. It's a play calling situation when you can make that long pattern. And Adman may have been able to deliver that ball inbound. I think they would have made the completion because although Taylor was out there, Streeter was open.
3rd down and 2, 50,000 on hand here at Keenan Stadium, and they watch James Thompson go past the first down marker to the 47 of the Wolfpack. Sandy Keith and Osgaard brought him down, but not before it was a Carolina first down. They sell out just about every ball game here at Keenan Stadium. Kind of a lull in the proceedings, though, as far as the crowd is concerned right now. Tar Heels have the football, but not a lot of noise. As you look at the crowd, he's not making any noise right now.
Yeah, that thumb tastes good, though.
Carolina line jump. Mark May got the football. That one was all messed up, and we'll leave it to the Zebras to unfurl it.
Well, nothing happened except that Mark May wasn't ready for the snap. It's just going to be second and long yardage. The line moved because the ball moved.
Mark May is now 8 of 13 for 83 yards.
Second and 11.
Second down, 11. Eric Lewis in the slot, you see. They give to the in North Carolina State territory. Derek Taylor pushes him out of bounds inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. 23-yard gain for Eric Starr.
First time we have really seen Carolina run the delay. Not really the true draw, just a delay handoff. Starr made a great cut against the grain. Then got into the foot race with Derek Taylor, and Taylor had the angle and was able to shove him out of bounds. First time we've seen that call, and obviously North Carolina State's defense was not expecting it.
So North Carolina has another first down for State 28. We're tied at 14, 9:59 to go in the third period. After play action to Starr. Streeter couldn't quite get his hands on it. The timing between the quarterback and receiver not quite there, or the pass slightly overthrown. Either way, it'll bring up second down and 10.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to Mark May. He has really had all kinds of injury problems for 2 years, but he has fought with it, has struggled back, and he's out there playing. He's a tremendous student. He's a Moorhead Scholar, which is one of the highest academic awards you can get here in North Carolina.
In fact, it is the highest. Second down and 10. May to Starr once again. Starr ripping through the defense as Sandy Keith and Osgaard held on for dear life. Kent Winstead, the junior, also getting a piece of it, and it will bring up third down. Boy, Mark May, people who are not from the area, and I'm sure we have a number of them out there, may not know that May was just the high school quarterback of his year. Outstanding student, great baseball pitcher, just your all-American boy out of a book, out of some sort of all-American novel, but he has had terrible problems with injury here at North Carolina, shoulder operation, and now he brings them up on a third down and 6. The pitch out to Starr. Watch the reverse to Eric Lewis. Lewis in trouble, doesn't get there. Excellent coverage by the Wolfpack. Fred Stone, the linebacker, smelled it out.
They tried to run the reverse, and it really just took too long to get going. The deception here wasn't what North Carolina wanted. I think Eric Starr showed this too soon, and Fred Stone comes back and makes a good play on Eric Lewis.
So Legally Armis is on the field to try the first field goal attempt of the ball game. Mark May will hold. It will be a long one, about 46 yards for Legally Armis. His longest is 40. He has not missed this season. He is 6 for 6, so it's on the line for him here. The kick was low, and it's not going to get there. There was penetration on the defensive line. Whether that has anything to do with the kick being low or not, I don't know, but the kick was no good. The Armis had his first miss of the season, and we remain tied at 14. As you look at Dick Crum on the sideline, hobbling along. But his team right in the middle of the fray, 14-14. And we'll be back with more ACC football after this for your local ACC station.
It's Countdown on 1986 cars and trucks at Oak Ridge Toyota and Isuzu. If you're looking for a brand new 86, a leftover model at the right price, fly by, say hi, and kick a tire too. We have rebates from $1,000 to $3,000 in cash. And we have 2.2 APR financing. Pick a plan and fly by, say hi at 301 Oakley Avenue and 431 Oakley Avenue, right in the heart of Lynchburg, Oak Ridge, Toyota, and Isuzu.
There are a lot of oil companies, just one Lynchburg Oil. Discover the difference in a full-service energy company, Lynchburg Oil.
Since 1935, we've taken care of our own.
Call now. You can count on Lynchburg Oil for automatic oil delivery, 24-hour emergency service, furnace installation and repair, bulk lubricants for business and industry, competitively priced.
You'll find us the warmest friend you'll ever have.
Discover Lynchburg Oil, the full-service energy company.
We are tied at 14 with 8:27 to go in the third period, and Jack Corrigan, North Carolina State, has played this third period in their own half of the field, and to their credit, there have been no points scored.
I tell you what, this game has been much more than a 14-14 ball game. We've had turnovers, lots of reverses, punt returns. It's been a wild game.
Steve Sally and Bobby Crumpler behind quarterback Eric Kramer. First and 10 from the Wolfpack 30. He gives straight ahead to Sally, who got about 3 or 4 yards. And the linebacker, Mitch White, the leading tackler on the team, made the stop. Denny Marson, the North Carolina defensive coordinator, told us earlier this week that if Brett Rudolph were healthy, the linebacking core would be as good as last year when Carl Carr was there. But Rudolph has been hobbled by an ankle sprain all year to this point, and so they're not quite up to that level. Second down and 7. North Carolina State on its 33. Kramer going deep for his tight end, but excellent coverage on the play by Danny Burmeister, the free safety, who was the Brian Piccolo Award winner last year. That is most courageous athlete in the ACC. All this guy does is play football as a diabetic, and he's come back from a broken leg as well.
Ralph Britt was a favorite target of Kramer's in the first half. They run the fly pattern to the tight end, but Burmeister with good coverage from his free safety spot. Don't forget that play, though. Wolfpack will come back to it.
Kramer 8 for 16 for 117 yards. Protection good. Kramer gets it to Frank Harris. Davis brought him down. First down.
Surprised again that North Carolina chooses to just rush 4 men, not putting extra pressure on Eric Kramer. You can see the linebackers dropping off on the coverage. Rudolph has got Britt covered, so they throw it out to the third option, Frank Harris, and Harris just runs away from Walter Bailey and gets the first down.
47-yard line, first and 10. And completes it to Haywood Jeffries for a short gain of about 4 yards into North Carolina territory at the 49.
They had Naz Worthen and Haywood Jeffries as split receivers on the far side. And it is Mr. Jeffries who realizes his quarterback's in trouble. And that's what you have to do as a receiver. If a quarterback's scrambled, he's going to come back towards him. Show him the target.
Second down, about 5. Shot it out to the side and was dropped by Steve Sally. Kramer did a good job just to get rid of it with Ron Burton. He's got all those sacks, 6 coming into the game, had 1 earlier today, put the pressure on.
Actually, it was a delayed blitz besides Burton. Walter Bailey came on a delayed blitz, and shows you how good Kramer is. He saw Bailey coming, and that told him that his running back was open, and he dumped it to him. Harris just didn't hang on to the football.
Third down and 6 from the 49 of North Carolina. We're tied at 14 with 6:41 to go in the third period. You saw the third down conversion figure. This time, good protection, and the pass is complete to Naz Worthen. First down inside the 30 of North Carolina. Tackle made by Steve Baldwin.
Kramer anticipated the blitz. He checked off at the line of scrimmage, brought his 2 backs inside for extra blocking, had Worthen in man-to-man coverage against Steve Baldwin, and he's an awful tough customer to try and cover one-on-one.
When the Wolfpack was going unbeaten in its first 4 games, Kramer and Worthen were the 2 key players, certainly on offense. First and 10 at the 29 of North Carolina. Straight ahead, Steve Sally, good yardage to the 20. Just shy of another first down, Walter Bailey on the tackle.
You get this kind of drive going where you have spread the wealth. Now you've got the defense uncertain where you're going to go, and that's the optimum time to run the fullback on the quick hitter. They give it to Sally, a little trap block up in front of him. by Jeff Strom, and that popped them loose for good yardage.
Second down, very short, a little bit less than a yard. Sally is the lone back behind Eric Kramer. Interesting look on second down and very short, and then Kramer calls for time. They spread the field on second down and very short yardage. Kramer looked over the defense, and I don't think he got what he was hoping to see.
He was going to throw the football, and it was just not a defense that he was going to have much success against.
So we stay tied at 14 with 5:36 to go in the third period, and we'll be back after these words.
This is the average family most financial plans are made for. But at Pilot Life, we know families are made of real people, not statistics. That's why Pilot Life representatives never take an average approach. All people differ. Their goals, their problems, their needs, and of course their dreams. That's why no two Pilot Life financial plans are ever exactly alike. And that's why they all work.
I remember my father's favorite chair. He'd come home, stretch out, and nap through all his favorite TV shows. That chair was home to him. When you take a seat on a Delta Jet, I want you to feel like you're coming home. Sounds corny, I know, but I love what I do. And I don't get paid extra to smile. It just feels comfortable to me. Kind of like my father's chair.
Delta gets you there. We get you there with care.
Still tied at 14 with 5:36 to go in the third period. Obviously, the tension will mount in this one the longer we stay even.
You see some of the banged-up people. That's number 78 for NC State, who is not in the action. Johnny Smith, the starting guard.
Bobby Crumpler going for first down yardage. Only needed less than a yard and got it. So Crumpler gets a first down at the 16-yard line of North Carolina. It'd be interesting to see, and I realize there's a lot of time left, but it'd be interesting to see if State goes ahead, whether Carolina will change its offense at all.
Well, I think, Gary, they have already changed their offense, in part the fact that Derek Fenner is not playing, and also by the fact that they're in a tight ball game. I think they have already opened up their offense, or at least the conservative offense that most people think Dick Crum runs.
16-yard line of North Carolina. State has the first down. This is Frank Harris on a good block from Sally, and now he's to the outside. Can he outrun it? He gets to the one. Dragged down by the free safety Burmeister, but a block by Sally sprung him into the open, and Harris got down to the one.
Well, for the first time here in the second half, Carolina came with a blitz. The people got caught up inside. Bailey White and Rudolph, the linebackers. Harris with good speed. Couldn't get by Danny Burmeister, but he got him down to the one.
First down and goal for North Carolina State, looking to take the lead over North Carolina. Frank Harris. Touchdown. North Carolina State on top, 20-14.
Jeff Strom and Brock Miller on the right side, along with tight end Ralph Britt, providing the good blocking in front of Frank Harris as Frank scores his second touchdown of the season on the ground for the Wolfpack.
Mike Topher will look to add the extra point. North Carolina State with 85 total yards in this half. North Carolina 45. They haven't been doing it with mirrors. Brian Gate home. Kick is good.
Take a look at the touchdown blocking in front of Frank Harris. Good steal block by Brock Miller. Britt and Sally out in front of the blockers. Britt was the guy who really made the difference. Britt sealed the inside, and then Sally did enough of a job on the outside to give Harris the crack in the defense to score the touchdown.
So North Carolina State is on top, 21-14, third period. Back after this for your local ACC station.
Parts and service are very important.
Jack Baker, president of Baker Brothers, your case equipment dealer, talks about parts and service.
A contractor needs to know he can have case parts and service on site immediately. It's important to our customers. It's important to us.
Case equipment at Baker Brothers, where parts and service are always a part of the sale. Call 344-2061 and let the professionals work with you. Baker Brothers, Roanoke and Stanton.
Take it from Dave Lennox. You can heat and cool your home with just one unit, our energy-efficient 2-speed heat pump. It automatically downshifts to a lower speed to meet your comfort needs and save you energy and dollars, too. Call one of these independent Lennox dealers today.
Hi, I'm Wendell Bradley. In Lexington and Rockbridge County, we are committed to be your total home comfort specialist. We sell the best and service the rest.
In the Bedford-Smith Mountain Lake area, we at Sweet Heating will be glad to discuss your energy needs, and we service what we sell.
Attaboy, Mel.
Atlantic Coast Conference football. Seen exclusively on Jefferson Pilot Teleproduction. 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the third period. 21-14 the score. North Carolina State has gone on top, and Mike Coker will kick it off deep. Tar Heels led early in the game. They find themselves down by 7 here. Eric Starr back deep to receive. Good kick. Starr at the 2-yard line. Right up the middle. Out beyond the 20 to about the 23-yard line.
70 yards in 10 plays, a touchdown, a 1-yard run by Frank Harris. Harris with 99 yards rushing in the ball game. That's a career best for the senior out of Hampton.
And there you see the scoring by quarter, all done in the second quarter until that North Carolina State touchdown we just saw. And you know, if you follow the Wolfpack this season, they have been murder on their opponents in the fourth period. First and 10 for Carolina. North Carolina State among the Wolfpack players in on Thompson that time.
I have to give a lot of credit to Fred Stone and Pat Teague, the two inside linebackers, number 50 Teague and 48 Stone. They've really done a good job inside in the absence of Kelvin Broom. They have all but negated the inside running game of North Carolina.
Second down and 9 for the Tar Heels. Mark May and has the first down out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Izell Jenkins covering on the play.
Quinn Smith, a good target, 6'2", 190-pound junior out of Alexandria, Virginia. He runs the down-and-out pattern beyond the first down stakes. Izell Jenkins making his first collegiate start gives him lots of room. It's the first down for the Tar Heels.
At their own 35, trailing by 7. Turning the ball upfield. Pat Teague on the tackle.
And we have another Wolfpack player shaken up on the play. Because of the injury, you don't think of Mark May as being a running quarterback, but he had decided right away to tuck this ball away. He stepped by Michael Brooks and got good yardage on the play. The injured Wolfpack player is Sandy Key, the nose man. And I was talking about the good work done by the two inside linebackers. If the linebackers are playing well in an odd front defense, it means the nose guard is really bothering the center and offensive guards. And Sandy Key, the NC State Wolfpack nose man, has done a fine job this afternoon of keeping Teague and Stone free to roam at the linebacking spot for North Carolina State.
Key goes off primarily under his own power. North Carolina has a first down at its own 46-yard line. There you see some more of the injured players on the sideline. Number 21 was Nelson Jones. We'd love to have him in there starting quarterback. Eric Starr. Starr was pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a yard on the play. It'll be second down 11. Scott Wilson, the junior out of Amherst, Massachusetts, and a big fella, 6'8", made the stop.
Watch the linebackers. Stone 48 and Teague 50. Teague took on the fullback, the blocker, that forced Starr to go to the outside, and Scott Wilson was there to make the play. Hi, guys.
Hey, I knew they brought radios, but that's great. Second down, a little bit more than 10. Mark May is 9 of 15 for 95 yards. May running the option to the other side. Again turns it up, and this time Greg Harris, the flag goes down. Read it well and brought down Mark May.
We may have a flag on the play, and it will go against North Carolina if the celebrating of the Wolfpack has anything to do with it. It is a holding call. I think it might have been Quinn Smith trying to seal might have been detected for the holding call. Get the indication first from the officials.
Dick Crum looking on. His team down a touchdown as we get the call. Offense, hold, second down. So North Carolina now has to go to the 44-yard line of Stick. And they got almost all of it. Izell Jenkins allowing Smith some room.
I think we had a flag thrown on the play there as well. They go back to the same play. They realize Jenkins is giving a lot of cushion to the wide receiver. And Quint makes the catch, and a personal foul. I was right. They called one of the Wolfpack players for taking an extra shot at Smith after he was already going out of bounds.
If you just joined us, Izell Jenkins playing in place of the injured Nelson Jones. Dead ball, personal foul, hitting out of bounds on the defense, first down.
Nothing gets the coach more upset than a personal foul call right in front of him. Quint Smith catches the ball. He's definitely going out of bounds. He's already out of bounds, and then Jenkins with the shove, and that's why they made the call.
Back to live action. Mark May gives it on a little delay to Eric Starr. Starr lost his balance, did a good job to get it back, and then what does he get for his efforts? He gets clobbered by Sandy Key and Michael Brooks.
Tried to come back to the delay that they had used with some effectiveness in an earlier drive, but better coverage defensively by North Carolina State, and Starr stumbled as he got the ball as well. Which sets up the second and long yardage. Boy, it seems like the Tar Heels have had a second and long yardage call every second down on this drive.
Less than 2 minutes to go in the third period. They have second and 13 here from the Wolfpack 36. Misdirection. This is Eric Starr. Had a hold for left and got down to the 26-yard line, and he's only 2 or 3 yards shy of a first down. Chris Johnson and Greg Harris combining on the stop.
Well, this was the true draw play here. They set up Starr on the right side. May looked like he was rolling back to pass and then gave the handoff on the draw play to Eric Starr, and he got good yardage. Setting up a third and short yardage. This time,
Greg Harris.
Greg Harris is the injured party for the Wolfpack.
You don't see it, but they're taking him off the field, and give North Carolina State an awful lot of credit, because we're talking about how banged up they are and all the injuries, and Carolina says, give us a break. We're down by 7 points.
Can't overlook the fact that Jonathan Hall is starting quarterback and Brad Lott is starting fullback are not playing today for North Carolina.
Very good point. Third down and 4.
Presence of mind because he called a screen pass. And the reason why he was getting the pressure is because the guy who would normally be blocking Sandy Key, the center, Jeff Garnica, was sliding out to his left to be the screen blocker. But he did have to get it away in a hurry because Key was putting good pressure on. But Ralph Pfeiffer and Garnica were over there, and it's first down, Carolina.
At the 20-yard line of North Carolina State, Eric Starr really took off. The linebacker, I think, was the man who laid the wood to Eric Starr.
Redstone and Ray Agnew. Don't you love a linebacker named Stone? That's appropriate.
Not if I'm the running back. Second down 11 from the 21-yard line. We are now down to 28 seconds and counting in the third period. North Carolina down a touchdown with the ball. And brought down across the 15-yard line. He needed to get to the 11 for a first down. Michael Brooks got a piece of the tackle. They spotted at the 14. So we're looking at third down and 3, and that will do it for the third period. A very good third quarter for North Carolina State, which, like it has been all game, was backed up in its own territory, but came out of it with 7 points on the scoreboard. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Pathfinder's off-road ruggedness, 3-liter V6 power, 235 tires, and extra long wheelbase. Now there's Pathfinder's civilized ride, cabin-adjustable coil spring suspension, and rich interior. Nissan Pathfinder. Now the adventure begins. The breakthrough is Pathfinder. The name is Nissan.
A Wachovia personal banker. One person who has the knowledge, gets you the facts. One person who gives you fast answers, explains investment options, helps your money make money. One person who pulls it together, keeps things moving, follows through, and makes your banking easier. A Wachovia personal banker. The one who gets it done.
Your Nissan Game of the Week, and it's a dandy. 3 quarters in the books, 21-14, North Carolina State in the lead, but North Carolina coming up to a key 3rd down and 3 from the 14 of North Carolina State. And your play call, Jack Corrigan.
I think they're going to work to their left, the wide side of the field. They send Quinn Smith out that way.
Dick Crum looking on. One of the bigger plays in this football game. Randy Marriott in motion toward the left. Mark May throws it to Quinn Smith. Pretty good call, Jack. Tackle made by Izell Jenkins. 1st down, North Carolina at the 7-yard line.
It's funny, Mark May, although he's a right-handed quarterback, seems to throw better to his left. Gets a little extra zip on this ball. Smith just runs a little stop-up pattern. Jenkins has to give him some room. Carolina, as they have done throughout this drive, convert another 3rd down.
Quinn Smith has 5 catches in the game. He had 4 on the season before today. Mark May throwing for Marriott in the end zone. Touchdown! North Carolina. The Tar Heels are within 1.
I'll tell you something. That shoulder might not be 100%, but that was a beautifully thrown football by Mark May. The fly around to the back corner of the end zone, he put it right over the top. That was perfect.
Derek Taylor did not have bad coverage. The ball had to be thrown just that way. And it was by May, and the Tar Heels are within 1, and legally Armas can tie it.
They don't have comeback player of the year awards in college, but the fact that that young man, number 14, is out there is a real testament to him.
No doubt about that. Lee Armas looking at timing. He put that one right through the upright. Dissected that.
Watch one more time a perfectly thrown football by junior quarterback Mark May. He's got to have enough height on the ball to put it over the defensive back, yet still catchable for the receiver, and he did it perfectly.
14:33 to go in the game. We're tied at 21. Back with more after this for your local ACC station.
Good food is an expression of love, and now you can make food that tastes as if you cooked all day with Sharp's Carousel Convection Microwave. It's not just fast, it's perfect. It turns to cook evenly. It browns beautifully. For people with more love than time, Sharp Microwaves.
When you want the ultimate in sweats, come to CMT Sporting Goods. CMT carries pro sweatshirts and pants by Russell Athletic. Russell Athletic makes the sweats that are used as practice wear by college, pro, and high school teams all over the country. And they are for the serious athlete who demands the best. Come to CMT Sporting Goods and mix and match. Separate pants and shirts in a variety of colors. Get them silk screened or plain. Deluxe premium weight sweatshirts and pants by Russell Athletic. Available at CMT Sporting Goods today.
It's countdown on 1986 cars and trucks at Oak Ridge Toyota and Isuzu. If you're looking for a brand new 86, a leftover model at the right price, fly by, say hi, and kick a tire or two. We have rebates from $1,000 to $3,000 in cash. And we have 2.2 APR financing. Pick a plan and fly by, say hi at 301 Oakley Avenue and 431 Oakley Avenue, right in the heart of Lynchburg. Oak Ridge Toyota and Isuzu.
Well, I'm really happy to tell you there's 14:33 to go in the game because this one is now really heating up. Tied at 21, but you can feel the tension mount. Kenny Miller will boot it off. Roy Russell back deep to receive it for State. Short kick. Sergeant Mark May with a touchdown pass. May has hit his last 5 passes. He's 13 of 19 for 132 yards and a touchdown. But now we deal with Eric Kramer trying to get the Wolfpack back on top, and he starts with his own 32. Steve Sally is the fullback. Gets up to the 40-yard line, gain of 7 or 8 yards before the tackle is made by Kubi Colombo and Reuben Davis.
Once again, North Carolina State using the counter action in the backfield to take advantage of the aggressiveness of that North Carolina defensive front. Cecil Gray, a freshman in at nose guard, stepped the wrong way, and they got a hole.
Second down and 3. Kramer to throw. Worthen gets around Morris Davis, and Worthen showing a good burst of speed, gets to the 46-yard line. The linebacker Brett Rudolph brought him down, not before a North Carolina State first down. 14-yard gain.
You want to teach quarterbacks, and you hope they learn to read coverage, not to look for receivers. That's exactly what Kramer did. He dropped back, saw what the coverage was, and he didn't even have to know to see Daz Worthen out there in the flat. He knew he was out there and knew he was open. Big first down.
First down for State at the 46-yard line of North Carolina. There are the numbers on how Summer Worthen. Mitch White tried to time the play on first. Vacated the hole, coming out, trying to time the play perfectly. Mitch White was, and Sally burst through for the touchdown, 45 yards.
They had done a similar play their last series. North Carolina gambling with the blitz on first down. NC State comes back with the fullback trap right up the middle. And you just take your trapping guard, and he just gives a little extra impetus to that linebacker blitzing, and he ends up running right by the ball carrier. Steve Sally scores his first touchdown of the season.
Just like that, North Carolina State back on top, 27-21. Being a Wolfpack to kick. Up and then back to 28-21 with 13-17 to play.
Lots of blocking up front. The trap is done on the linebacker, and very nicely done by Jeff Strum, and away goes Steve Sally off on his longest run of the season.
So North Carolina State on top of the seesaw, 28-21 as you look at Steve Sally, and we take a break for these words.
Your Jefferson Standard agent is worried about you. He worries whether your current retirement plan will buy the kind of retirement you want, whether you'll be able to send the kids to school. If you become ill or disabled, will you have the right coverage to see you through recovery? Maybe you're not worrying about these things, but isn't it nice to know that somebody is?
Bill, it's all worked out.
Well, I've got nothing to worry about then.
Jefferson Standard. Our business is your future.
I was 10 years old when I built my first model plane. I thought it was fantastic. Flew all of about...
Watch the effort of Ralph Britt as he seals off Danny Burmeister. He was not able to put pressure on Sally, and Steve did the rest, running it into the end zone to give North Carolina State a 28-21 lead.
Steve Sally now with 70 yards on 6 carries and the touchdown. And Mike Cofer to kick it off.
And who would figure that North Carolina State would have over 200 yards rushing in this ball game, with still most of the fourth quarter yet to be played.
There's your scoring drive. Only took 3 plays. The big one, the one that culminated at 45-yard run by Steve Sally. Mike Cofer to kick it off. And Eric Starr needs to receive. As you look at part of the... Is that the band? I guess it must be. There's the cymbals. Ball bounces out of bounds at the 22. The flag will go down. And they'll kick it again. You know, this has been the blueprint for success, though, for North Carolina State all season. Defense keeping them in the game, not rock hard, but the offense scoring enough points.
Well, we harken back to a week ago for State fans against Georgia Tech, and incidentally, we have a Georgia Tech score. They're out to a 3-0 lead down at Auburn against the 5th-ranked Tigers, and Notre Dame is really laying the leather to the Air Force Academy 24-3. But last week's ball game for North Carolina State, they were really crushed by the kickoff return by Gary Lee after they felt themselves getting into that ball game in the second quarter last week. This afternoon, they've been able to hang in there in the early going, as you indicated, Gary. And Nick Sheridan knows, hey, you keep us close. I've got the offensive plays that'll get us into the end zone.
That really is their philosophy, avoid the big play. They didn't do it last week. At the 10-yard line, one of the upbacks will see if the ball gets across the 20, up to the 30, and up to the 35-yard line comes Leonard Dempsey, normally a linebacker, sophomore out of Lynchburg, Virginia, and if that's not the thrill of his day, then I don't know what will be.
Good field position as well, besides a very nice return by Mr. Dempsey. Carolina will have the ball on their own 35-yard line. With lots of time left here in the fourth quarter, I guarantee you, we're not done scoring on the day.
Just about the middle of the third quarter, this one has moved up a left and has become some football game. It was pretty good before. At the 35, first and 10 for North Carolina. They are in the spot now. Mark May overthrowing Eric Streeter over the middle. And I think you'd agree, Jack, as Michael Brooks was covering on the play, that that's the kind of play that the more Mark May plays, the more time that pass is going to be completed.
Well, this is the kind of pattern where you've got to first read the coverage and then lay the ball in a spot with a fair amount of velocity. He just probably had a little extra on that. The ball sailed on a little bit. 13-20 for 132 yards for Mark May.
Second down, and the pitch out coming to Eric Starr, who cuts it back and is ridden down by the nose guard, Sandy Key. What do you think about Mark May's arm strength at this stage in the ballgame? How does it look to you?
He still appears to be throwing fine. I don't really sense any difference between the way he was throwing early in the ballgame. He has not thrown that many passes where you would have a fatigue factor settling in. I think the thing that concerns Carolina most right now is they have been really struggling on first down, and that has set up second and long and third and long situations. You don't want to keep doing that.
Thompson, the fullback, Starr, the tailback. It is third down and 6. North Carolina at its 39. Big play. May completes it, put it right on the money to Eric Lewis at the 50-yard line. First down, North Carolina. Isel Jenkins covering on the play. Mark May put it where it had to be.
Twin receivers to May's left, both of them doing turnout routes, curls to the outside, and Lewis catches the pass for the first down. And again, Mark May going to his left and throwing the football effectively. Pretty good lick there as the play finishes off.
Coach has told us he took some good hits last week against Wake Forest and came back for more, so they feel he can take the hit. Derek Starr and Chris Johnson slowed him up, and then a combination of Derek Taylor and Michael Brooks finished him off. Not much of a gain on that play.
The offensive coaches for Carolina continue to scratch their heads. What are we going to do on first down to get some more yardage, they are saying to themselves. Second and long again. You just cannot keep expecting your offense to convert second and long, third and long situations, because those types of down and distances are to the advantage of the defense.
Second down and 10 at midfield for North Carolina, trailing by a touchdown, still 11:52 to play. May still has the football. This is Starr trying to get outside of Chris Johnson, or not Chris Johnson, but Michael Brooks, and couldn't do it.
They go with the option to the wide side of the field, and Eric Starr just did a lot of that on his own, because really Michael Brooks had come up quickly to seal off the play, and Starr accelerated a little bit and then used some power to set up a third and short yard. It's a much better play call for that guy right there.
For those of you wondering about Derek Fenner, we don't know if it's the shoulder or just Dick Brumfield. Derek Starr is running well today. Fenner did get hurt last week. He played early today. Starr has played most of the way, though. Third down and 1. Made to throw for it. As his tight end threw it wide open at the 20-yard line. Not a bad play call there at all with Brooks covering up on the tackle.
A great play call. Shades of Vince Lombardi 20 years ago with Bart Starr and company in the Green Bay Packers. You can see the linebackers bunched up at the line of scrimmage. Nobody covering Dave Pruitt. North Carolina knocking on the door for the equalizer at the Wolfpack 16-yard line.
Only Pruitt's third catch of the season. They spread it around pretty well between their receivers. First and 10, North Carolina. May in trouble, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, North perform.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark May has returned. What a job. What a job here in the second half. He has played so well here in the second half that we have not given enough credit to another great job by Eric Kramer for North Carolina State because he has been that way for 2 years. But Mark May has been the story for North Carolina this afternoon.
We have got a truly great ball game going. 10:41 to go in the game. This is to tie it up. With May holding. Yes, sir. The kickers have been true. Mark May now 16 of 23 for 185 yards and 2 touchdowns.
North Carolina State, chooses to blitz Chris Johnson on the play. May reads the blitz and finds Lewis behind the secondary. Eric Lewis, the inside man of the two, running the deep route as Streeter runs the underneath route. And I said it last week, Gary, a double move down near the goal line is uncoverable.
We are tied at 28, 10:41 to go. We'll be back. Mark May, who's had a great second half. 10 for 14, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Cool as a cucumber in the second half, too, against increasing pressure. He has read defense as well. He has answered every thrust of Eric Kramer in the Wolfpack. I'd say the homecoming crowd is revving up, too.
This reminds me of the State Wake Forest game we had earlier this season where it was the last team to get the ball. It didn't start that way, but both offenses have it going right now.
It's going to be, Gary, I think, either who has the ball last or who commits the crucial turnover.
Todd Barn is the man back deep to receive the kick. Kenny Miller, usually it's Troy Russell in that position. There they go with Barn, who has had a number of kickoff returns this year. He's usually been one of the corners, and other teams have kicked it into the corner, and as a result, he has returned 6 of them for an 18.2-yard average, which is not too bad when you come out of the corner. Right now, the wind is just not allowing us to continue to play. We may have to get a holder here for Kenny Miller. That's exactly what Howard Fagan's volunteering to do. Miller says, let me give it one more try without you.
Clemson, homecoming. Good day at Death Valley. A tough afternoon for Steve-Sloan's Blue Devils. They trail it 28-3 in the third period.
Don't blame it on Duke. That Clemson team is awfully good. Todd Barn, Columbia, South Carolina, starting at the 6. In the open field at the 35, and down he goes finally in the arms of Jim Chapel, defensive back out of Vienna, Virginia.
Well, this is only appropriate. The way this game is cranked up, we're going to start getting good kickoff returns as well. Todd Barn came very close to breaking this one, and Jimmy Jock, whose dad used to be the coach of the Washington Federals, made the stop.
Mac Jones is in the ball game, split to the top of your screen. 1st and 10, North Carolina State now asked to answer the North Carolina score. Kramer on the outside. This is Crumpler and driven out of bounds. Now, you taught me something about football here. Again, he was forced to pitch the ball early.
Well, that was the good effort by, I believe, Reuben Davis, who knifed through and forced Kramer to pitch this ball certainly more quickly than Bobby Crumpler thought. There's Big Reuben, the all-conference. Not only does he force the quick pitch, he makes the tackle. At 290, well, he's lost weight. He's down to a mere 275.
And they say that's really helped his mobility. I guess on that play you saw it. Kramer has everybody out in the pattern. And a completion pass to Nasworthen, and Worthen in North Carolina territory at the 44-yard line. Pete Baldwin on the tackle.
Credit that defense, or that offensive front line of North Carolina State. They continue to keep the pressure off of Eric Kramer. A 21-yard completion to Nasworthen. Look at the job there by Massaro to help out against Burton. And Nasrilla is awful tough in the open field.
10 minutes, 5 seconds to play, tied at 28. Bursts over the middle, and no mystery anybody. You get the passing game working as well as it is, and you can run the ball pretty well, too. Ron Burton and Brett Rudolph combining on the stop.
Well, you get a little different terminology with certain clubs, but that's like a 50 trap or a 30 trap, whatever kind of number system you have. But it's the fullback on a quick-hitting trap up the middle. As you look at the numbers of Naz Worthen, actually the average per catch is down for Naz. He's usually up over 17, 18 a catch.
Second down, 3. This is Bobby Crumpler. He carries the ball in a while. Gets about a yard before Brett Rudolph, the linebacker, covers up. Morris Davis, a strong safety, also up there.
No. Eric Kramer. I'd like to be his friend, though. I get bad feelings if you cross him.
Better that happen the other way. Third down and 1. Look at Dick Sheridan. You don't think he's got a shot at Coach of the Year in the ACC, does he? Third down 1 for North Carolina State. Bobby Crumpler hit in the backfield by Mitch White. Big defensive play by Mitch White. Sophomore out of Brevard, North Carolina, the number 1 Tar Heel tackler.
Mr. White was an all-stater at Brevard High School. Here's a reason why. Boy, he read that play, stepped right into the hole, and then had all kinds of help to finish off the job.
Well, you talk about a victory. The defense really gets the victory here. No one has stopped anyone recently, but here North Carolina State will kick. Kelly Holiday. Fair catch, Eric Lewis. North Carolina starts from the 13. Oh, there's some tension here now. Only a 27-yard punt. Doesn't look good on the stat sheet, but that's fine because they start in poor field position. 8:15 to go in the game. We're tied at 28. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Some of those North Carolina defensive players. Right now, the offense is on the field. There have only been 2 punts in this second half. They've both been by North Carolina State. And one of the reasons Carolina has not punted, you see him right there, Mark May. Great second half. That's what he's been able to do all ball game. 13-yard line. They give to the fullback Thompson, and Pat Teague says, you are going nowhere. Second down and 9.
Pat Teague, the 5th-year senior linebacker, getting the starting assignment today with the injury to Kelvin Crooms, has certainly done a great job defensively for the Wolfpack as well.
There you see Mark May looking over to the sideline. Second down, a long 8. And those are the football almost Carolina 15-yard line. We are tied at 28. Reception of the day up at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for North Carolina.
You go into a ball game at the collegiate level not necessarily saying I'm going to pick on one guy, but as this game has developed, the offensive coaches of North Carolina realize that they can run that underneath pattern against Izell Jenkins since he does not have much college experience. In fact, his first start, Smith's been the beneficiary with 7 balls this afternoon.
As we told you earlier, he only had 4 coming into this game. There's Eric Starr. First to speed before he is ridden down.
Sterling Quash made the good stop that time for NC State.
They mark it at the 34-yard line, and Carolina is in much better field position. They've gotten out from their own end. Boy, field position today, well, while it hasn't been that good, it hasn't been that much of a handicap for these teams. They've been able to get out of it.
Derek Taylor looked like he had his bell rung. So he's got another new man in the secondary for NC State.
Second down and 4, a little bit of misdirection. Eric Starr gets the first down after the 43-yard line. Pat Teague brought him down, but not before he gets those chains to move.
You can feel the confidence all the way up here on top of the press box from that North Carolina huddle behind Mark May. They now know they've got it cooking, and young Eric Starr has certainly filled in admirably at that tailback spot. A concerned Dick Sheridan. His defense has played admirably all afternoon, but now it's getting towards the right time.
Thompson carries the football and gets 7 more up to midfield. Teague again on the stop. Eric Starr unofficially has gone over the 100-yard mark. 18 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. Also fumbled it once. It'll be second down and 3. Derek Fenner played earlier in the ball game. His shoulder may be bothering him, or Dick Crum may just be very happy with the work of Eric Starr. Certainly the second is true. The first may or may not be. Thompson in his first collegiate start has those numbers. after a couple of pump fakes. Quint Smith again.
Right on the money. Sterling Claus thought he had the underneath coverage. He couldn't quite get to the ball. And Quint Smith, who has the size advantage as well on Isel Jenkins, makes his 8th catch of the afternoon. Look at that ball just over the hands of Sterling Claus.
Quint Smith, if you saw the North Carolina-Clemson game a year ago, he had 4 key receptions, clutch receptions down the stretch of that game that Carolina pulled out from behind. But that day was Jonathan Hall. This day it is Mark May. Now the North Carolina State 31. We're tied at 28. That time did not get the completion. Trying to throw it to Randy Marriott. It'll be 2nd and 10 on that stop the clock with 5:16 to go.
Pat Teague was blitzing on the play, and it disrupted the blocking pattern of North Carolina. Mark May trying to hit Marriott. We'll gear it up and try it on 2nd and 10.
Boy, Dick Crum has talked about how tough it is to stand the length of these games, but he can't sit back on the bench right now, not with a 28-28 ball game with 5:16 to play. There are the numbers on Mark May. 2nd and 10. Underneath. This is Eric Starr, and Starr got about 17 yards. Derek Taylor brought him down.
They put Quas into the ball game to try and give him a little bit of size in the secondary. He is playing strong safety, and they've moved Michael Brooks back to free safety. But he just was outmaneuvered that time by Eric Starr.
3rd down and 2, 4:45 to play. And the question here, if North Carolina scores, how much time will they leave the Wolfpack? Ball possession down for North Carolina. May ran into his own corner, and that slowed him up, but he got to the 20-yard line and got the 1st down.
Boy, did he take a lick from Fred Stone and Chris Johnson. He was almost run down by Sandy Key, but it'll be a Carolina 1st down. Watch Sandy Key. Just can't quite get to him. Then he bumps into Eric Starr. Watch the hit here. Boom. But Mark May bounces up and is ready to go again with 4:14 to go, and the clock continues to move.
Carried it 6 times for 22 yards. North Carolina 1st and 10 at the state 19. And they go to their fullback Thompson, and he doesn't get much. About a yard. Fred Stone. Wish I had a buck for every time I've called his name today. Pat Teague also there, and they have done a nice job in the absence of Kelvin Cruz on the inside.
They really have. NC State hoping here that they can force the field goal because they feel they've got the ability to go down and get the touchdown. And you know on the Carolina sidelines they are thinking, we can't come away with just 3. We got to get the touchdown to put the extra pressure on.
They're in the range of Legally Arnold, who is 6 for 7 on the season field goal try. That's a ways also at 2nd and 10, and Mark May calls for time. 3 minutes and 32 seconds to go. And what do you think Mark May and Dick Crum and Randy Walker, the offensive coordinator, might discuss here?
What a great shot of Dick Sheridan. He took a deep breath and then put his hands on his knees saying, golly, how many more of these can I go through? Both teams, schedule-wise, the rest of the way, still have some big ball games, to say the least, particularly North Carolina. Next week, they go down to Baton Rouge to play the Bayou Bengals. Louisiana State, a very tough place to play. Then come back home here to Chapel Hill to take on Maryland, a game you'll see on your ACC football network. And then get Clemson the following week in Death Valley before finishing the season with Virginia and Duke. So really, this ball game this afternoon for Carolina was the first in a long stretch of tough football games for the Tar Heels.
There you look at North Carolina State's schedule. They've got Clemson, South Carolina, and then at Virginia we'll be televising that one, and then they close out with Duke and Western Carolina at home. Clemson will be very tough, but that is a schedule that North Carolina State can play against and maybe do very well.
That's right. I mean, with the exception of Clemson, the rest of the way, you figure the Wolfpack would be an even or favorite in all those ball games.
Although folks in South Carolina will tell you, watch out for the Gamecocks. Here's Mark May. Back to throw. Quint Smith at the 2. Isel Jenkins again, but Quint Smith having a career this afternoon.
You know, Jonathan Hall is the first-team quarterback for most of the year. He throws to Lewis and Streeter. May is the second-team quarterback. Throws a lot to Quint Smith. So if there is any guy out there, he is familiar with. It's Big Twin Smith. And the junior from Alexandria, Virginia, catches his 9th pass of the afternoon.
3:13 and the clock winding. First down goal for North Carolina. We are tied at 28. Full house backfield. Eric Starr to the goal line. Did not get in. Fumbled the football, and North Carolina State has it. How about this?
Ray Agnew, the freshman from Winston-Salem, somehow comes up with a football, and the Carolina fans here are stunned.
Can you blame them? Look at the reaction of the coaches. See if Dick Sheridan gives us something there. He gave us something.
Dick Crum can't believe it. Let's see if we can see how the ball came loose. Starr trying to fight his way into the end zone as the ball popped loose right on the hit by Michael Brooks.
Yep. First down at the 3. Now North Carolina State has to battle the field position. 3 minutes to go. We're tied. And Bobby Crumpler gets it out to the 9. And does he ever have to cradle that football carefully on this position in the field?
Danny Burmeister made the stop. I tell you what, he bounced through there. If Burmeister doesn't come up strong from the safety position, Crumpler might have been off for a long gainer.
Well, you put it very well. This crowd, all of a sudden, is very, very quiet.
They thought they had the go-ahead touchdown. I mean, he was at the mouth of the goal line.
Second down 3 from the 10-yard line. Actually got 7 yards on that play. Now, Price and Bobby Crumpler are the backs behind Eric Kramer. Straight ahead, the fullback now. Price, big first down for North Carolina State, up to the 12 or 13, and 2:18 and the clock winding down. There are your timeouts remaining. Each team has 2.
Now that they have picked up the first down, you will see NC State spread it out a little more. For North Carolina, they can only hope for the turnover or to prevent State from scoring to keep their record unbeaten on the season.
Keep in mind, State has one of the best field goal kickers in the ACC in Mike Cofer. First and 10, now Kramer will throw. Throws underneath to Sally, and Sally gets out of bounds at the 25. First down, North Carolina State. Derek Donald drove him out. Cofer is hit from 42 and from 49 yards this season, so they have to get to about 35.
Kramer dropping straight back to pass. He's looking downfield for Ralph Britt. Doesn't like that one, so he goes to his safe pattern. Sally on the sideline. Steve gets the first down and is able to get out of bounds.
State now has a little bit of field position to work with. 1:51 to go. The Wolfpack on its 25. Steve Sally, the lone remaining setback after play action. Kramer to throw. Nasworthy. Taking Haywood Jeffries, and Jeffries up to the 38-39-yard line, and Norris Davis and Brett Rudolph combining on the stop.
Real tough situation now here for North Carolina. Do they use their timeout to try and save some time left if North Carolina State keeps moving this ball downfield? Because it's going to be a situation where there's going to be no time left for them if State scores.
Kramer to throw on first and 10 from his 39. This is Nasworthy inside the 40-yard line of North Carolina, and they are almost in Mike Cofer field goal range. 23-yard gain with 1:24 remaining to be played.
I said it earlier in the ball game. We sometimes tend to overlook Eric Kramer's accomplishments because he is so consistently good. He has been that again this afternoon.
37 of North Carolina, 116 and counting down. We're tied at 28. Kramer through the hands of Haywood Jeffries. They would have had Mike Cofer field goal range on that one. He was, to me, it looked like he was turning around as if to run before he really looked the ball into his hand.
Without question, he was open on the curl route down around the Carolina 20-yard line, and he was looking for more. Forgot the most important thing, catch the ball first.
Fun position for State to be in, because if they hold the ball, the worst they're going to do is tie. 1:10 to go, and they may well win it. Kramer 16 of 26, 243 yards.
Carolina with only 3 men on the line of scrimmage. They've got an extra defensive back.
Kramer on the sideline, completes the pass, and it's going to be a Wolfpack touchdown. Nasworthy, no flag, North Carolina State leads 34-28.
Walter Bailey went for the interception, and he knocked Keith Baldwin down, and Worthing scores the touchdown. Wow, another unbelievable game.
we've had one as good as this so far. Brian Gay will hold. Mike Coker looks to add a very important extra point. It's good, and the lead is 7. 35-28. Mark May will have 1 minute and 1 second to work with.
Watch the touchdown play again. For the umpteenth time this afternoon, Eric Kramer gets excellent protection. Goes on the far side, the out pattern to Worthen. He catches the ball. Bailey and Baldwin collide, and Nasrallah has the open pass to the end zone. The Wolfpack takes the lead, 35-28. Watch the reaction of Dick Crum and Dick Sheridan. He knows the pass is there. Now Sheridan knows it's going to be a touchdown. And is he a happy guy? Well, he should be. His team has battled injuries all week long, and they are 61 seconds away from ending a 7-game losing streak to North Carolina. But North Carolina still has 2 timeouts.
Look at those numbers for Naz
Ryan Tide. You're right. Now let's back to his numbers on average per catch.
Kramer's 17 of 27 for 280 yards and a touchdown. This would be North Carolina's first loss of the season, and that man, Dick Sheridan, would have the Wolfpack at 4-1-1. As Jack told you, 7 in a row, 1978. Bo Ryan, the coach. Ed Brown had a big day. Big day today. Well, a lot of people have had big days, but Eric Kramer and Mark May especially. Now May, who's going to get the ball next, 14 for 19 in the second half for 179 yards and 2 scores.
After the kickoff, let me present another interesting setup for you.
All right, Mike Coker swims the kick. Taken by one of the upbacks, and that is Laird Dempsey once again. Dempsey is on to 25 to the 30, down to the 32, and now 53 seconds remain on the clock, and North Carolina is down by 7.
If you're North Carolina and you mount a last-minute drive and score a touchdown,
you
got to go for 2.
You have to. I think. I think you have to. Don't you?
I would agree. I mean, that's what I would do, and I'm sure that's probably what North
Carolina. They didn't come here to tie, I don't think. 32-yard line. North Christian run. Well, we both agree. No point in going any further. 32-yard line. North Carolina has 53 seconds. Mark Hayes has a great second half. 3 players rush over to the Wolfpack underneath the completion to Crew at the tight end. He's brought down at the 42-yard line.
Depends on where they spot it as to whether or not they'll stop the clock. They do momentarily here.
At least to see if it's a first down.
It is not, so the clock will start up again. We are under 40.
Second down, 41-yard line. North Carolina down by 7. May fires complete to Stewart. Here's to the 45 of North Carolina State. Obviously, May has found what State is giving him right now on the defense. And now on the tackle, Kelvin Crooms in there, too.
And now Carolina will take the timeout because they want to be in a situation here where they can set up 2 plays. They'll call 2, maybe 3 plays in the huddle, and they will also have plays that they can run right from the line of scrimmage, sometimes with nothing more than just a hand signal from the quarterback to the wide receiver. They have moved the ball deep enough into State territory now to the 45-yard line where you want to set up a sequence of plays for your club so that you're not going to waste any of these precious remaining seconds trying to get a play called or get your offensive group lined up on the scrimmage.
The guy with the headset on is Jonathan Hall. You can't see him now, but he, of course, is not dressed today, and Mark May has performed rather admirably instead. I don't think there's much question about who our player of the game is going to be for North Carolina. That would be, well, we'll wait until we tell you later, but I bet you can read our minds on that one. We have 29 seconds left to play. You look at the score and time. At the 45-yard line of North Carolina State. Way back to the row. Fires it over the middle, and it's caught. Pat Teague on the tackle at the 28-yard line of the Wolfpack. Eric Streeter made a nice grab. That ball was really whistled in there. 23 seconds left. North Carolina quickly up to the line. The clock stops while they move the first down marker. Now they wind it up. Again, time for May. Got a man. Streeter out of bounds at the 12. We are headed for some frantic finish. 15 seconds left. Izell Jenkins drove him out.
Hey, can you believe, you know, we forget all of this in these mad seconds as he comes back to Streeter again. Before the North Carolina State touchdown, Carolina fumbled the ball on the Wolfpack 1-yard line when it looked like they were going to take the lead. Now they're down there again.
Don't want to get too much into hyperbole, but this will be remembered as one of the real classics in this series. And now timeout by North Carolina State. Obviously, the clock was already stopped. They just want to regroup.
Well, you've got 2 timeouts left. You know they're not going to do you any good other than to try and settle your team down, so you might as well use them and make sure on your defensive calls here.
There's Eric Kramer, our North Carolina State player of the game. Outstanding job once again for Eric. 17 for 27, 280 yards, and a touchdown. And he has just had a great season. Game in and game out. Nothing he could have done about last week against Georgia Tech. And there is number 14. Well, you can't quite see him. Mark May, 24 for 32, 300 yards. And Poland will donate a $500 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both North Carolina State and North Carolina as part of the Poland Most Valuable Player Award Scholarship Program. Poland, America's Chainsaw.
You will get a couple of possible patterns down here for North Carolina. They have a timeout left, so they're not overly concerned about running a play up the middle. You could get Truitt on a delay up the middle. You could more than likely get one of the wide receivers running a 2-cut pattern, taking one way and going another.
Quint Smith at the bottom of your screen. He's been a favorite receiver of Mark May. They go to Smith, and Smith a touchdown for North Carolina.
Broke it back to the flag, and Mark May threw a perfect ball in between 3 NC State defenders, and Quint Smith catches his 10th pass of the afternoon, the biggest of his Carolina career.
And the only thing that's even more exciting than sudden death is this situation. One play, you win or you lose.
The final play of the game, really, although with 8 seconds left, you could conceivably recover an onside kick and get one more chance if Carolina would not convert this 2-point try.
All right, what do you like here? A lot of times it's the option with a quarterback, it's the option to run or throw. What do you look for from North Carolina?
I'll tell you what, this is the hardest call to make in football. It really is, because 3 yards is an awful lot to gain on the ground in such a tension situation, yet at the same time, you only have 13 yards of field to run a passing situation. So I really have a tough time.
How about that play we had with Wake Forest earlier in the year? Clear out a section and have the fullback try to run in. 35-34, North Carolina State by 1. This is for the ball game. 2-point conversion try. Eric Lewis in motion. Mark May in trouble. Lets it go to Truitt. He's got the ball. They say he's down. He's down. He does not get in, and North Carolina State, with 8 seconds to go, celebrating a 1-point victory.
They ran a tight end screen. It was a great call, but NC State just put too much pressure on Mark May, and he couldn't get the football with enough on it to Dave Truitt. And Truitt, to try and catch the ball, let his knee touch down. The pressure was provided by Scott Auer. And right there, he made the catch, but his right knee touched.
No question about the call.
Look at the coach.
Biggest moment of Dick Sheridan's season, and he's had a few of them this year already. Dick Drum, there's not much he can do, but just, there you saw it, put his head down. First loss of the season for North Carolina, but it wasn't that man's fault. Mark May had a brilliant afternoon, and knowing Mark, he is probably extremely disappointed right now, despite all the numbers in the world.
They had a flag on the play. I believe they called a penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct against North Carolina State.
Penalizing the celebration, I would assume. Yeah, I think that's what it'll be, but only 8 seconds remain.
But that's an important penalty because now Carolina kicks off from the 50-yard line. If they recover the onside kick, they've got the chance with Liarmas of trying a long-range field goal.
Now, his longest this season has been 40 yards.
Well, the ball has to go at least 10 yards before they could recover the onside kick. So he would be attempting, should they recover it, a field goal in the 50s, but he'd at least have a chance. It would not be an overwhelming field goal try.
I just looked in the press guide. His long career is 49 yards. So it's conceivable. It's the only shot they have at this point.
He's going to kick it from the 50. It'll be Kenny Miller to kick it.
Now, a lot of teams don't squib it in this situation. They pop it up in the air and let it be a jump ball free-for-all. We'll see which way North Carolina goes. State leads by 1, 8 seconds to go.
Now, NC State has got 10 of their 11 men between the 30 and 40-yard line, and then another 10 yards or so to Naz Worthen. And they're expecting the ball to come towards Worthen.
They squib it, and North Carolina State Todd Barn out of Columbia, South Carolina, wraps it up for the Wolfpack.
What a ball game, and what a great victory for Dick Sheridan. The Wolfpack comes in banged up, and they win their 4th ball game against just a loss and a tie.
Well, how much can you say about character after what happened to them last week? They come back here and beat unbeaten North Carolina, their biggest rival, in a game like this.
Well, as we said at the very beginning of the telecast, Gary, this was the kind of game that the Wolfpack had to be playing to bounce back from the tough loss and have all the answers. And that'll do it.
Eric Kramer sits down with the final snap of the game. There is your ball game. The victorious head coach, Dick Sheridan, for North Carolina State. Dick Crum will regroup. Still just one loss for his team. 35-34 the final, and we'll be back after this word.
New sugar-free Hubba Bubba is here.
Flavor lasted longer than the flipper.
NutraSweet is why new sugar-free Hubba Bubba is long on flavor, long.
Stay tuned for Andy Griffith, next on Channel 5. This is a Channel 5 news update. Now, here's Angela Robinson.
Good morning. A New Carrollton woman is being held without bond for allegedly murdering the 2-year-old she was babysitting. Philadelphia authorities are trying to untangle a gruesome web allegedly spun by this man. 3 women and several body parts were found in his Philadelphia row house yesterday. Now this.
Are you just wild about Harry? Well, you're not alone, because this week's People proclaims L.A. Law's Harry Hamlin the sexiest man alive for 1987. People celebrates people. You'll find out all about Harry's off-camera life and wife once court is adjourned. Then People introduces good Prince William's brand new nanny, plus the hopes and fears riding on Sugar Ray's comeback flight, the real-life kids who inspired the movie Hoosiers, and so much more. Week after week, People celebrates people. This week, the sexiest man alive.
Spring has sprung. Partly sunny skies are expected today with highs in the 70s. It's already 59 degrees. That's update.
These are the teams featured in America's greatest intercollegiate rafting race.
Where's the river?
Now you can get a fast laugh with these racy crazies.
This river will be ours!
When Tim Matheson takes you on the wildest, wettest adventure up the creek. Saturday at 8 on Channel 5.